And welcome again to Cottage Talk. I am Russ Goldman. This is our preview of the FA Cup match for Fulham against Hull City, team I can't stand. So I look forward to talking about this match. But the big question in this preview episode will focus more on this topic. Do you want a cup run for Fulham? It's an interesting topic. I have a poll. I'll be sharing the results in just a bit as we go through this basically 15 to 20 minute show. I also want to mention a couple things. I've been doing a lot of shows lately. I just want to thank everyone. The numbers have been massive. So thank you for continuing to listen and watch Cottage Talk all this week. This is our 8th show in a row, which is amazing. And the amount of people downloading and listening has been fantastic. So thank you. I just wanted to bring more content your way. There's a lot more to come. And there's actually going to be a couple more shows, post-match shows for this FA Cup match. I'm going to be with a co-host on Sunday and also a post-match show, potentially one or two co-hosts of the Chelsea match, and a preview of the Chelsea match with an old friend will be joining me on Wednesday. A lot of good shows coming your way. But let's now just talk and preview this upcoming match for Fulham against Hull City and talk about, in general, do fans want a cup run? And I'll share my thoughts in just a bit. As always, please do subscribe on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. It does help other Fulham supporters and supporters of other sides find us. So please do subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have subscribed, thank you. We really appreciate it. All right, so let's get to it. Before we talk about this match, we do have some Fulham news that broke yesterday, which I think is positive. Do you think it's positive? So I'm going to share that with you right now. Thoughts on the options being activated for Tosin and Bobby Decordova-Reid. Now, this came a little bit out of the blue. Both in, I believe, the last years of their contract, basically winding down. But they had options. The team picked up the options. I think this is positive news for both players for Fulham. I think this is more of a Fulham move. Now, people have been wondering about Tosin signing a new deal. Maybe this starts the progress in maybe signing a new deal. Maybe it doesn't, but it gives protection for Fulham with Tosin, because if they want, they could sell Tosin. That extra year actually does help. So for me, I think this is a good move in regards to Tosin. I think this is a very good move. I hope Tosin does sign a brand new deal, but if he doesn't, Fulham just activated the option, which hopefully he appreciates. I don't know, but hopefully he does. In the case of Bobby Decordova-Reid, I think it's a no-brainer. Bobby Decordova-Reid has been just so valuable to Fulham Football Club. I put him in the same category as Chris Baird, someone that you need on your side. I would sign Bobby up long-term because Bobby's a player that you need. You need not in each match, but I think you need on your side. He can fill in whenever you need him. He can start. He's proven it. So for me, picking up the option, no-brainer for Bobby Decordova-Reid. In fact, I would really want Fulham to sign him long-term because if you look at it, Bobby Decordova-Reid might be a factor in the decision with Dan James because you can play him as a winger, and now you got Manor Solomon coming back. Now you've basically picked up the option on Bobby Decordova-Reid. Do you continue to think about what you're going to do with Dan James? Because you have an option there with him. Do you send him back? Signing Bobby Decordova-Reid, activating his option, maybe helps you with that decision. I don't know. We're going to have to see how it all plays out with Dan James. But I think this is positive news for the club on both players, and I hope both players like the fact that their options have been activated. I think it's good, but we shall see. I don't know how they feel about it. I know I like it, and I think it's good for Fulham Football Club. So just wanted to share that. We do have some comments. Let's see what people are saying to me. To start off, let's see. Just basic, good evening, Russ. Well, that helps. Let's see what my friend Trevor says. Hi, Russ. The FA Cup gets you a Europe spot, so definitely. And we're going to be talking about that, Trevor. I'm glad that you shared that. This is my friend Stephen Turner. I know it's negative, but no, league has to come first. Do I want to win every match? Of course, but those wins have to be in the league. So league first, cup second. Understand. understand. Let's see what my friend Wayne has to share. Hi, Russ. Hope you are well in the family. Yes, everyone's well. So thank you very much for sharing your comments, and please feel free to share them during the show. Okay. Like I said, I'm not going to go too long, but definitely want to talk about this cup run. And if fans want a cup run, I'll share that in just a bit. But before we do that, I'm going to share some comments from Marco Silva. So let's just get to those to get us going. This is from Marco Silva's presser. Quote, "It's a really important competition for me, for us, for the football club. Everyone has to respect the FA Cup. We're in a really busy period, which is tough. We have to assess players and decide," unquote. Obviously, what they're going to do with some of these players. So definitely one to share that comment from Marco. So they have some decisions to make on some players. So it'll be interesting to see. It sounds like they're going to take it seriously. I'm curious what Marco's starting 11 is going to be. Only time will tell. Okay. So let's see. We do have some comments, and it involves Seri. So let's talk a little bit about what Marco Silva thinks about Seri. He actually had some positive things to say about Seri, who's now at Hull. So this is thoughts on Seri from Marco Silva. This actually comes from the Twitter account of Peter Rutzler. So I'm just going to share that with everyone, and we could talk a little bit. I'm going to share my thoughts on what Marco Silva had to share, because it's pretty obvious that Seri was an integral part to Fulham last season. So why did Marco Silva let him go? Well, I think this comment kind of says it all. So I'm just going to share that with you in just a second. Quote, "The decision not to extend his contract was a tough one. He was so important for me, one of the players that understood well what I want from his position, number 6. But we knew what the Premier League demanded from us. Sometimes you have to take tough decisions." Okay, so that is from Marco Silva. And I think it had to have been a tough decision for Marco to make that decision on Jean-Michel Seri, because Seri played very well for Fulham, but you could see the direction that Silva went. He went for Paulinho. Now, if you look at the difference between Paulinho and Seri, if you put Seri in the Premier League, I don't think it would have worked. So, and I don't know how much Seri would have played in the Premier League. I think it's the best thing for Seri that he's now at Hull City, and obviously the best thing for Fulham. But it sounds like Marco has a lot of respect for Jean-Michel Seri. I wish him all the best later on in the season. I hope he does very well for Hull City. But I think it was the right decision for Fulham Football Club that he go his separate ways and Fulham go their separate ways. So I think it all worked out for everyone. Okay. So before I break down this match, give you what I think the starting 11 is, give you a prediction, let's talk about my poll. And if you're watching live, feel free to share your thoughts about, do you want a cup run? So I'm going to also share the results of my poll, which is actually very interesting. And I have a good amount of votes. I have 222 votes. I'm sorry. It looks like it might even be more than that. I'm going to have to check my eyes on that. It's actually 322 votes. Yes, I have some cheater glasses. 322 votes. That is a good amount of votes. So let me just share those results with you if you're watching live. Here are the results of my poll. Do you want a cup run for Fulham? Yes, 69.3%. No, at 30.7%. That's 322 votes. So the majority of Fulham supporters want a cup run. And I've given this some thought, and I understand the comments that I have seen that league comes first. I agree with that. League does come first. But you know what? It would be great if Fulham went on a long cup run and, dare I say, win the FA Cup. And I was actually asked that by my friend Chris Goodwin. Would I take winning the FA Cup if that meant Fulham ending anywhere between 8th and 20th? I would deal with it if it was, say, between 8th and 17th. Beyond that, if that meant winning the FA Cup, not relegation. But I would definitely want Fulham to win the FA Cup. I'd love to see that in my lifetime. I think it's a worthy Cup, I know what people think about it, but I actually want them to make a cup run. Am I concerned that it might affect their league position? Yes. But I say go for it. And let's see where it takes us. So I'm with the majority of fans saying, I want a cup run. I want a cup run. I know there are people out there that just want us to focus on the league, but I think they can go hand in hand. I think that they can make you stronger as you go along. And I think that they should utilize some younger players in this upcoming match against Hull City. But to answer the question, I want a cup run. So that's where I'm going on. And I'm saying yes. Let's see what my friend Dean says. On 7th, win a cup. Okay. Okay. Let's see if they got 7th and win a cup. I would like that too. Let's see what my friend Chris Goodman says. With Mitro being suspended for Chelsea, would you play him at the weekend? Great question, Chris. Fantastic question. It sounds like to me, if I'm reading between the lines, that Marco wants to pull out a fairly good side. I would rest Mitro. I would totally rest Mitro. That's my opinion. I would completely rest him. I would not play him because I think you use this opportunity to get him right. Get him 100%. Don't play him against Hull City. He's not going to be playing against Chelsea. Rest Mitro. That's where I'm going on it. Let's go with what Steve Turner said. Chris Goodman, I would say, no, rest him and give Mitro that period to get fully 100% fit, especially with the ongoing ankle issues per World Cup. I didn't even read your comments, Stephen. You and I are on the same page, definitely on the same page. So we both don't want Mitro to play. I don't. I don't want Mitro to play. I understand why supporters would want him to play. I want him to rest and get fit and get ready for that next match after the Chelsea match. That to me is more important. Do I want a cup run? Yes, I do. But not if it's going to cause issues, further issues with Mitro. So I'm a hard no on Mitro in this match, and you'll see that in my prediction for starting 11. Okay. Coming up next to end this very quick show, I'm going to predict my starting 11, not what Marco's going to do, what I would do, and then give you my prediction for the match. If you're watching live, share me your prediction for Fulham versus Hull City. Okay. To end this very quick show, I'm going to give you my starting 11 for this match. So I am going to, this is what I would do, rest several players. I'm going to have Marek Rodak in net. I'm going to play Kevin and Babu. Yes, I'm going to do that at right back. At left back, I'm going to play Kurzawa. I'm going to rest Anthony Robinson. Center backs, Shane Duffy's going to be out. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to play Tosin and BDR together. In central midfield, I'm still going to play Paulinho. I'm going to play Harrison Reed. But I'm also going to play Bobby Decordova-Reid as your number 10 instead of Pereira. On the left, I'm going to go with Manor Solomon. On the right, I'm going to go with Harry Wilson. Up front, I'm going to go with Vinicius. That's my starting 11. That's what I would do. We're going to find out what Marco Silva would do. And as an option, I'm thinking about it now, just thinking of on the fly, maybe I change my mind, but I would go back and forth on this. Maybe play Luke Harris instead of Bobby Decordova-Reid as that number 10. Just a thought. Maybe do that. So again, I'm just giving myself an alternative as a number 10. Okay, before we go to predictions, let's see what everyone has to share. Let's see what Chris Goodwin has to share. Hull City 1, Fulham 2. No cup upset there. Okay, well, let's hope not. Let's see. Steve Reynolds says rest Pereira, Mitro, Willian, Leno, and Zhao. I still play Zhao. Let's see what Stephen Turner says. Have we got the squad depth around the board in all positions and achieve 7th in the league come and end May plus win a cup? The answer unfortunately, has to be a no. Okay. Let's see what Dean Traverso says. 2-0 to Fulham. Okay. Well, that's going to lead me to end the show with my prediction. I'm going with a Fulham victory, and I'm going with my friend Dean here. I'm going 2-0 to Fulham. I think Fulham have enough, even with probably sitting several players. I can't stand Hull City. Anyone that knows me, it goes all the way back to 2007. Can't stand Hull City. So I want Fulham to win, and I don't care by how much. I just want them to win. I do wish John Michael Seri all the best the rest of the season, but I can't stand Hull City, and I'll just leave it there. Okay. Well, listen, once again, thank you everyone for watching and listening to all these shows, and I'm giving you a lot of content. I don't expect you to watch and listen to every one of them, but I do appreciate it. The numbers have been fantastic. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll say that one more time. And you're going to be seeing some co-hosts coming up in several shows, some special guests. I got a lot planned for Cottage Talk. And as always, subscribe on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. It helps other fans, not just from Fulham, but around the world from other teams, find us. So please do subscribe on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. Okay. That's going to do it for this episode of Cottage Talk. My name is Russ Goldman. Thank you as always for watching and listening to Cottage Talk. Now part of the talkSPORT Fan Network.